Hi everyone, just a quick one from me this evening. A reaction to the news that England is entering a new national lockdown from midnight tonight. No real surprises in the announcement from Boris Johnson this evening, other than I think this probably should have happened at least a fortnight ago. Also, quite disappointing to see that the UK's borders remain open throughout this new lockdown. The number of Instagram influencers who are still showing off their trips to the Maldives or Mexico and then coming home without any enforced quarantine period is deeply, deeply worrying. Thinking specifically about some of the financial implications of this new lockdown, from a business perspective, it's essentially an extension, a nationwide extension of the Tier 4 restrictions that we already had in force in London, in large parts of the southeast of England. But of course, with the added complication of school closures, which is going to place a great deal of pressure on working parents. We've got an immediate response to the lockdown announcement from CBI Director General Tony Danker, who said it is absolutely essential that we all put the health of our citizens first, and businesses will continue to step up in the national interest to support the NHS, employees and customers in the weeks ahead. In tandem, we need to acknowledge that the economic impact of these new restrictions is significant. There are now a number of imperatives for government to support business. First, ensuring firms have the cash flow to make it through. Extending existing support has helped, but a broader range of measures will be needed to tackle this further hit to revenues. Secondly, the government must review and plug any coverage gaps from existing support that are now further exposed, for example, in supply chains. And third, firms must have a clear line of sight and assurance that support will be there for as long as restrictions are in place, so that they can stay the course rather than act precipitously. Meanwhile, British business stands ready to play its full part in the vaccine rollout, increasing mass rapid testing and acting flexibly to support employees with caring responsibilities while being attentive to the mental health of millions of employees. So I suspect we're going to hear in the coming days from Chancellor Rishi Sunak. We know that the furlough scheme is in place until the end of April, allowing employers to get government funding of up to 80% of wages for those members of staff placed on furlough. That, of course, can include parents who have newfound childcare responsibilities. We know that the Self-Employed Income Support Scheme grant is currently open for round 3, but that probably now needs to be extended until April for round 4 as well. And we know that rate-paying businesses forced to close their doors to customers because of this lockdown. That includes non-essential retailers, it includes personal care businesses like hairdressers, like beauticians. We know they're able to apply to their local authorities for government-funded grants. What I hope Rishi Sunak announces quickly as possible, is another round of bounce-back loan and coronavirus business interruption loan funding, with the loans guaranteed, backed by the government, and on the same generous terms as before, so no interest, no repayment for the first 12 months. I also hope that we see some form of helicopter money in place for when the economy does reopen, just to encourage people to get out there and spend like crazy, to give these retailers who have struggled so much a real boost. This is going to be another tough period for businesses. No grant or furlough schemes, or indeed loans, can replace the ability to trade and make actual profit. I know plenty of employers who will be faced this evening with a great deal of uncertainty about the future and feel they probably need to make urgent decisions about how to best protect their interests, as well as their staff and their customers. It was interesting to hear Boris talk this evening about this ambition to vaccinate the most vulnerable people in our society by the middle of February, by the middle of next month. And he said he believed the country was entering the last phase of the struggle. But I think we need to be realistic about this. This new national lockdown is going to be in place until the middle of next month at least. Even if the NHS manages to pull off this massive vaccination programme and it manages to protect the people most likely to either end up in hospital or indeed die from this nasty virus, it's going to take many more weeks, Boris mentioned 12 weeks in his announcement, before these people are fully protected following their second jab. I've long said that we're not going to get back to normal in this country, normal in terms of reopening the economy or restoring our social interactions, until the early summer, realistically. And I think businesses need to be prepared for that eventuality. If that means pivoting and developing a new offering for your existing customers, or finding a new group of customers better suited to this pandemic world in which we now live, then that is action to take quickly. I'll create more videos on this subject as we find out more about any financial support put in place by the Chancellor in the coming days, in the coming weeks. But stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.